Welcome to EVE Online, or not welcome, because you're probably frustrated. You found me in this video because you just spent half an hour, 2 hours setting up all your freaking windows, all your settings, all your stuff, and you're, what happened? What has happened is what has happened is that you've launched the game a different way. This is your individual client settings that you can go click on this and you'll launch EVE that way, right? Or you can do it this way and launch through at the bottom where you go launch managers is kind of like kind of neat, kind of launch manager. Yeah, you can launch multiple clients at once. Yay. And this is the settings for that right over here. This is the manager for that. And you've accidentally had the wrong client profile, or different client profile than the one you picked for the individual client. So one of the two profiles has all your settings. It's just right. So hopefully you can sort it out, and hopefully that's fixed it. Bad news: this default, CCP's always had the default. It's just been since probably beta. And the problem is that when you click default, you think, oh well, it'll pick the individual's chosen profile, right? No, it's an entirely new profile. So unfortunately, yeah, you got a situation where you cannot force the manager to know. It just doesn't know what the individual's launch profile is. So yeah, this is done. This is I'm trying to use the proper word. This is completely separate than this. It won't be able to detect what your individual launch profile is. It's just giving you the option right here to choose the profile, and you have to choose a profile because the default won't pick your individual one. So hopefully that clears it up, I guess. I'll try that again if you're still confused. You've launched the game in the launch through the launch manager with a client profile chosen. You've set all your settings up, your Windows locations, your hotkeys and everything. You've quit that client. You've restarted that client through the individual launch platform, EVE Online Ready, and you go there, you launch, play now with the Havoc thing underneath it. I'm sure it'll be different in the future. And you've got a profile that is different than your launch manager profile. So it's just, you're gonna have to do it all over again, unless you fix it. You go, oh right, I was using I was using this one. I better choose alpha. I had quality for my individual. I have to set it to alpha if I want to get back to and not waste my time, right? So there you go. Hopefully that solves it. Yeah, I mean, it could have been the other way. You could have launched your individual client, set up all your settings, right, and maybe had it in quality or solo or something, right? One of these. And then you did it for all your guys, right? And then you use the launch manager to launch all your guys, but you picked the wrong client profile. And it's all, where are my settings? So you've just got to match the two. I guess that's the TLDW. You've got to freaking match the two. Otherwise it won't work. And yeah, it would be great if default meant they'd pick what your individual launch manager, but they did not improve the launcher. They made it a complete mess simply to sell their eVanguard. That little icon, that fourth character. That's their only ambition here. You didn't get to share your settings, which they should have really freaking done before they did this. Hey guys, I know you're switching to this. You might lose all your settings. Here's a way to share it. Oh, hell no. No, God, no. No, the CCP isn't like that. Uber Alice, Iceland, Uber Alice, you have to enjoy their default settings because that's the way the game was intended to be played, right? So yeah, hopefully that solves it. And the great news is you can actually make different launch groups with the same client with the same clients, different characters maybe to launch at startup, but with different client profiles. See, if you really wanted to go through the bother of customizing your windows for different layouts, and then you'd be able to launch that way, that's kind of cool. That's way over the top customization options that we're not used to from CCP. But I'm sure they'll get rid of it in a year. Nobody's using it, blah, and I don't think they have a metric for tracking it too because it's just a client profile, and in their metrics it would be like, oh yeah, because you have to choose a client profile, right? It'd be like, right? So there's no way of them for tracking this metrically, so they probably won't get rid of this option. And they won't bother fixing it to say, hey, if it's default, it's going to pick your chosen profile, because their default profile is actually a profile. It's not a default abstract thing. It's actually a profile. They've always had this from beta, so I'm probably repeating myself. I've had to do this video a few times over just to have it make sense. So there you go. Voila. You can now play the game with your settings, and you're saved. You're welcome. But oh my god. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, what the hell are you talking about? It's because you're watching this video without a need to watch the video. This video is not for you. It's nice you can find out about customizations, but if you've never had this problem, you're like, I never had this problem, it's because you didn't accidentally pick the wrong client profile between the two of them. Or you're a solo player and you don't have multiple accounts. Right?